You've got an $80,000 work truck sitting in the driveway. You would not run it on contaminated fuel because you know what bad fuel does to a motor. Knocks at 60,000, seizes at 80,000, dead engine, dead investment. But here is what you think about your fuel, the stuff you put in your own body every morning. You think the Monster gets you going. You think the gas station donut is fine because you will burn it off. You think the crash at 2 p.m. is because the work is hard. And you think the ibuprofen at lunch is maintenance. It is not maintenance. It is masking. The energy drink is not giving you energy. It is borrowing it from your pancreas and charging interest every 4 hours. The donut is not fuel. It is an insulin bomb that drops your blood sugar below where it started. And the ibuprofen is not managing your pain. It is hiding it while your kidneys take the hit. You are not fueling a machine. You are poisoning it. And the damage shows up on the inside long before it shows up on the outside. A mechanic in Ohio, the same one from part 1, 28 years on the tools, told me this. He said he drank 2 Monsters a day for 15 years. He thought that was his energy. It turned out to be his energy's landlord, charging him rent every 4 hours and evicting him by 2 p.m. When he switched to water and real food, he did not get more energy. He just stopped losing it. Your organs are failing before your knees, and nobody in the trades is talking about it. So let me. If you work with your hands and nobody has told you what that gas station breakfast is actually doing to your organs, subscribe. This is part 3 of the series nobody else in the trades is willing to make. Before I get into the science, here is what I want you to do. Not next week. Tomorrow morning, 1 test. Replace the energy drink with a bottle of water and a handful of nuts. That is it. Not a diet, not a lifestyle overhaul. 1 single morning. Water and nuts instead of the Monster and the donut. Then pay attention to one thing, how you feel at 2 p.m. Because right now, most of you hit 2 p.m. and feel like you are running on fumes. Brain fog, no focus, reaching for a second can just get you to finish the shift. And you think that crash is because the work is hard. It is not. It is because the spike from the first drink wore off and your blood sugar dropped below where it started. You are not tired from working. You are tired from the fuel. One morning, water and nuts. Come back to the comments and tell me if I'm wrong. Failure mode 1. The sugar spike. All right. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside you when you crack that can at 5:45 a.m. A standard 24-ounce energy drink contains 60 to 80 grams of sugar. That's 15 to 20 teaspoons in 1 can. The daily recommended limit is 9 teaspoons. You're doubling it before you even clock in. Your body hits that sugar load and your pancreas fires insulin like a fire hose. For about 45 minutes, you feel great, alert, focused, ready to go. That's the spike. That's what you're paying for. Then the insulin overcorrects. Blood sugar doesn't come back to normal. It drops below normal. Brain fog, shaky hands, irritability, loss of focus. And on a job site, loss of focus is a safety hazard. You're not just tired at 2 p.m., you're impaired. Here's what this looks like over 15 years. That spike crash cycle, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, doesn't just make you tired. It makes you insulin resistant. Your pancreas stops responding. Your baseline blood sugar creeps up. And the destination of that road is type 2 diabetes. Nerve damage in your hands, slow healing wounds, and a body already breaking down from the work, now breaking down faster from the fuel. Peer-reviewed research has linked chronic energy drink consumption to liver damage, kidney injury, and cardiac arrhythmias. A 2025 case study documented acute kidney failure in a 21-year-old after 1 month of heavy energy drink use. His kidneys recovered because he was 21. At 45, that recovery doesn't come as easy. You wouldn't run contaminated fuel through a $600 carburetor, but you're running it through a kidney you can't replace. Same planned obsolescence, except this time you're the one choosing the cheap fuel. The manufacturer isn't forcing this. The gas station isn't forcing this. You're doing it to yourself, and the industry is happy to let you because a tradesperson running on sugar crashes faster, burns out sooner, and gets replaced with a fresh apprentice who hasn't figured it out yet. That's the fuel. But here's the thing. The fuel is only the first failure. What you're using to mask the damage is worse, and you're probably doing it right now. One of our viewers, a framer in Arizona with 17 years in the trade, sent me a message I have not been able to stop thinking about. He said he takes 800 milligrams of ibuprofen before he leaves the house, another 800 at lunch, another 800 before bed. That is 2,400 milligrams a day, every day, for the last 6 years. His doctor told him he is damaging his kidneys. He said he knows, but if he does not take it, he cannot work. And if he cannot work, he cannot pay for the doctor. That is not a health choice. That is a financial trap wearing a medical mask. And if you are nodding right now, you are in the cycle too. Failure mode 2, the self-medication trap. Look, I know why you do it. The ibuprofen does not fix the pain. It masks the signal long enough for you to get through the shift. You are not treating the inflammation. You are hiding it. Here is what 2,400 milligrams of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs per day does while it is hiding that pain. It erodes your stomach lining. It stresses your kidneys, the same kidneys the energy drink is already hammering. And it raises your blood pressure, the same blood pressure the flat rate hustle is already spiking. 3 attacks on the same organs at once. Your kidneys are fighting a 3-front war. And then at night, the beer. 2, 3, 4 beers to shut down. But alcohol does not shut you down. It knocks you out. And that is not the same thing. Alcohol destroys REM sleep, the only phase where your body repairs the damage from the workday. The micro tears, the inflammation, the nerve recovery. You drink to fall asleep. Your body never enters the repair cycle. You wake up feeling like you did not rest because you did not rest. The ibuprofen goes back in. The monster replaces the sleep. The cycle continues. That Ohio mechanic named it perfectly. Fuel, mask, sedate, repeat. Monster in the morning to replace the sleep. Ibuprofen at lunch to replace the cartilage. Beer at night to replace the rest. And every day you think you are maintaining, but you are just running the engine without coolant and hoping the gauge does not hit red. That cycle is human-planned obsolescence, and you are running the program. Now, here's the part you don't expect. The biggest barrier to fixing this isn't the monster or the ibuprofen. It's your co-workers. I need to talk about that before I give you the solution, because if I don't, it won't stick. Failure mode 3, the social trap. Some of you have tried eating better. You brought grilled chicken and a salad to the job site, a wrap with real protein, something your body could actually use. And you know what happened? Your crew mocked you. They called it nice rabbit food, asked if it was your wife's lunch, said real men eat hoagies. Here's what I want you to notice. The guy calling your lunch rabbit food, is he the same guy who groans every time he bends down to tie his boots? The one popping ibuprofen like mints? The one who cannot climb a ladder without his knees cracking? Because that guy is not making a dietary choice. He is defending the one he is too tired to change. And his opinion about your chicken wrap should carry exactly as much weight as his opinion about your tool brand. That is to say, check his results before you take his advice. Linda knows this one. She has been packing Dale's lunch for 3 years. He takes it. He eats it in the truck, not the break room. He does not bring it inside because he does not want to hear about it. That is not weakness. That is strategy. Eat the good fuel, skip the commentary, outlast the guys who mocked you, because in 10 years, you will be the one still climbing the ladder, and they will be the ones watching from the truck with a heating pad and a monster. All right, I promised you no kale. I promised you no smoothies. Here is the actual fix, ranked from the easiest change to the one that saves your life. And every single one works on a job site at 5:30 a.m. The solutions. Number 3, the gas station survival guide, easiest, changes nothing about your routine. You're going to be at a gas station at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow, whether you like it or not. So here is the list for when you have no other option. Buy beef jerky, protein, portable, no crash. Buy mixed nuts, fat and protein, sustained energy. Buy a banana if they have one, potassium, natural sugar that does not spike. Buy a bottle of water. Buy black coffee if you need caffeine. Coffee without sugar gives you the alertness without the insulin bomb. Avoid energy drinks, donuts, danishes, hot dogs, gas station pizza. Avoid anything with an ingredient list longer than a work order. You can fuel up at a gas station and not destroy your body. It takes 30 seconds of choosing the shelf with the jerky instead of the shelf with the donuts. Same store, same stop, different shelf. That is the only change. That is the easiest. Number 2 takes 10 minutes the night before, but it is the one that actually changes how you feel at 2 p.m. Number 2, the cold prep method. 10 minutes the night before, no microwave needed. You don't have a microwave on a job site. Stop planning meals that need one. Here is what works cold. A wrap with deli turkey, cheese, and spinach takes 3 minutes to roll. A pasta salad with grilled chicken made the night before takes 10 minutes and feeds you for 2 lunches. A thermos of chili is great in winter. Hard-boiled eggs. Boil 6 on Sunday and grab 2 every morning. These sit in a cooler until lunch. You don't need a kitchen. You need a cooler and 10 minutes the night before. That's the trade-off. 10 minutes at 9 p.m. instead of brain fog at 2 p.m. That fixes the fuel. Number 1 fixes the system, and it saves you more than $1,000 a year while it does it. Number 1, the full swap. This is the one that changes your career lifespan. Replace the monster entirely. Water in the morning. 1 gallon across the full day. Add an electrolyte packet, 50 cents each, to replace the sodium and potassium you're losing through sweat. Here is the cost per year math. A monster habit at $4 per can, 2 cans per day, 250 workdays per year. That is $2,000 per year in energy drinks. Replacing that with water and real food costs $500 to $800 per year. You save $1,000 to $1,200 per year, and that is before you calculate the medical costs you are avoiding by not hammering your kidneys with caffeine and your stomach with ibuprofen every single day. $2,000 a year on Monster to feel worse. $800 a year on real food to feel better. The cheap option is more expensive. Sound familiar? That is the QR thesis applied to your breakfast. But the real number isn't the grocery savings. The real number is the cost you're not paying in 10 years. The kidney function you kept. The stomach lining you didn't erode. The insulin resistance you avoided. The diabetes diagnosis that doesn't happen. Those costs make $2,000 a year look like a rounding error. Here's what your own community proved. Multiple viewers reported that cutting processed sugar significantly reduced their chronic inflammation. One said his wrist swelling improved within 3 weeks. Processed sugar drives systemic inflammation. Inflammation is the pain the ibuprofen is masking. Cut the source and the need for the mask goes down. Talk to your doctor about a gradual reduction in non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs paired with anti-inflammatory food and proper hydration. Self-check, reinforced. Tomorrow morning, Drink water and eat nuts. Not a monster and a donut. Just one morning. If the fog lifts at 2 in the afternoon, you know what the monster was doing to you. If you feel the same, come tell me I'm wrong. I'll read every comment. But I'm betting most of you won't come back to argue. You'll come back to say it's day 4, and 2 in the afternoon feels completely different. That truck in the driveway? You maintain it because you know what happens if you don't. You don't fill it with contaminated fuel because you understand what bad input does to good machinery. Your body runs on the same principle. In part 1, I told you to maintain the tool. In part 2, I showed you that other countries invest in the worker. In this one, the part that's entirely in your control, the fuel. The best knee pads in the world won't save a body you're poisoning from the inside. Water, protein, real food, that's the premium fuel. The engine is worth it. And the guy holding the wrench is more expensive than the truck he drove here in.